well tired.
And we are live according to YouTube. Now, Beth, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are
you? Missed
you?
me. When
Do
I
you know
saw
it's
you
been
earlier.
a quiet week. Not one single voice message. In fact, you must need therapy.
I enjoyed it.
Rude.
Yeah, she didn't miss me whatsoever.
I was
You're
living my-
sweating. They're
I was
heating
living
in
my best
here.
life.
We just finished paddle.
No, I finished by the way ages
That's
ago.
not how to win friends.
You
and
turned the
influence
heating up way
people.
too high, Hev.
I like it. I'm toasty.
Toasty.
Anyway, we are joined, obviously, by the amazing and very well lit, I should say, Beth
Just
Turner.
angelic. It's just the way I roll.
Now, before there's going to be a few people rolling in as we talk.
Right.
So really, we're going to interview you, and we're going to have very
Terrifying.
random people butt in and ask questions too.
I like random.
So as you
people.
see a question pop in, feel free to answer it and just completely interrupt us.
Okay, so my glasses aren't on me, so there's no way that I'll
Okay.
see that from here.
That's fine.
So
I'll be
you
the translator.
eyes.
I'll be the eyes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So how long have you been coaching?
All my life, I think.
All your life?
Yeah.
You came out and you were telling your parents how to
More or
parent?
less, give or take. So no. I started a career in a leisure centre teaching aerobics. Not many people know that. Because I thought that would be more fun. When I graduated, I thought it'd be more fun to teach aerobics than be a journalist.
Yes.
And I was not wrong. So I did that and then coached people in the gym. Had a couple of discs
nice.
removed and thought, right, that's the end of that then. Ran the
Like a
leisure
DJ
centre.
or you mean spinal discs?
Spinal
Yeah,
discs.
I was going to say.
So then ran the leisure centre for a bit and have always led people. So I think the minute you've got people that you care about working with you, you end up coaching them.
Did you study journalism then?
No, geography degree.
Ah.
Then was going to do an extra year entry to journalism.
Oh,
And then thought,
interesting.
actually got fit while I was at uni.
Yeah.
Took on a dare. I'm not sure this is the right place to share this information.
Come in a little bit, Hev. Sorry, get a shot. You don't know.
But I lost a dare and I was dared to join the university.
Your
It's like
This is a fuzzy thing.
It's old enough to know. Terrifying. And so I lost a dare and I was dared to go and join the boxing club at the university, which turned out to be a boys' boxing club. But once you've rolled in and there's a big gym full of very fit men, you can't really back out. So I got into fitness that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then one of them's your husband?
No. I met my husband at the leisure centre actually.
Oh, really?
So yeah. I rang him up. We were advertising a job and he just qualified with a sports science degree. And I rang him up and said, would you like to come in for an interview? And he said, I live in Suffolk. And I thought, I didn't check that detail.
Yeah.
And where was the leisure centre based?
Larkfield.
Oh, is it Larkfield Leisure Centre?
Yeah.
Oh,
Literally.
it was.
LLC.
Have you always been in Kent?
Yeah.
Oh.
I went to university, snuck out to Portsmouth, but came back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Midway.
Why Portsmouth?
Great geography degree.
Okay. You had to find it first, though.
Yeah, and I don't do physical geography, so longest river, capital city is not my bag.
So what's that? Mental geography?
Human geography, geography of crime, geography of people, geography of like town planning.
I didn't realise that was a thing.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Oh.
It does
Oh,
sound
you learn
interesting.
something every day.
Irrelevant to the job I do now. Thank you for asking.
It is, yes, but we've all been there. She's a hairdresser, don't you?
So why she's
I had hair. When we met, I
gorgeous.
had hair. It
What
went
do you feel
horribly
about
wrong.
What, that he's got no hair? Impartial, really. It doesn't really affect my
Doesn't impact your business. Ricky thrives regardless.
Becca keeps going on about getting her hair done, by the way. I keep saying you should use hair if it's free. Free? Right?
I don't
Made
still.
friends?
No, I'm not.
No?
I'd like to clarify. I'm not taking any
So
clients.
if anyone would
For
like
hair.
Heather to
No,
do
my
free
wife.
hair
My
styling,
wife.
I'm not doing hairdressing. Haven't done it for many years.
So there'll be a lot of people that are not watching this live. By
Thank
the way.
goodness.
Yes.
It's all I can say.
So this will be on YouTube
I suppose edited
forever.
off.
Forever. This will be.
Oh, good.
Everything you say is not filtered.
Brilliant.
Okay, because I'm not
Excellent.
editing this.
Okay.
I don't have time.
We're going live. It's fine. One take turn.
Yeah, one take Turner. Is that your?
Yeah. When I used to do
Nickname.
stuff to camera for different companies that I've worked for, I just thought it should be natural. So you've got to practice.
One take Turner.
One
Turner.
take.
I love it.
Mm.
Love it. Any other tips you can give the listeners?
Well, I don't feel like I've shared any tips of any relevance or interest up till this point.
What's the favourite talk you've ever done?
Oh, so my favourite talk ever was I renewed my mum and my stepdad's wedding vows.
Oh, really?
which was an
wow.
absolute privilege. So they'd been married 25 years.
Yeah.
They wanted to renew their vows, and I looked into it and was organising it for them and with them. And you have to pay someone a lot of money to do that, and you don't have to be professionally trained. So I was like, so I could
Wow.
do that then. And that was my favourite presentation speech ever, because you very rarely get to tell the people that mean the world to you what they mean to you
Jeez.
until you're delivering a eulogy.
Oh,
So it was
gosh.
wonderful, and it's one of my favourite presentations of all time.
Oh, that's amazing.
What sort of preparation went into that?
Well, you know, through working with me, that everything that I coach is about imagining what, of all the things you know, what would be valuable to the audience to hear. So I thought of all the things that I could say to my mum and my stepdad, what would I like them to know? And how did I want them to feel at the end of it?
Yeah.
And then I think once you let your heart speak, it sort of wove its own little story. And it was all about the
that's
threads
beautiful.
that hold a marriage and a family
Yeah.
together. So that was my favourite.
Oh,
So
I'm
I
listening,
prepped for that
sorry,
in
I'm
the
just-
same way as boring you.
I forgot to post. And
You know the bit where one of my top 12 tips for Christmas
don't go on your
was
phone.
that your phone isn't present.
Yeah, and when you're in a meeting,
Faux pas.
get off
This
your
isn't a
phone.
meeting.
This isn't
No,
live.
self.
It's even more important.
I get a get out of jail free card, don't I?
Right. So, say you've got someone that is a startup business
Mhm.
and they're not at the point where they want to give feature presentations at events or anything like that. So they don't see the point in kind of improving their speech and things like that. Where in day-to-day business would you think it will be useful to have these communication skills?
I meet lots of business people, entrepreneurs, business owners who have got incredible businesses, but they have never really thought through how to talk about that business to someone else. So they've got a brilliant idea and they're very successful in what they do or at what they do.
Yeah.
But in order for someone else to see the brilliance, they often miss the opportunity to talk about it through the lens of their perfect customer. And so whilst you don't need to hone your public speaking skills, it would be a smart move to know exactly how to answer the what is it that you do, because whether that's a good question or a bad question, it's going to be the question you're going to get networking, or when you meet other businesses in any capacity, and also being able to explain to friends and family, because that I learned early on, if your kids or your parents, your partners can repeat parrot fashion what your business is, they become great advocates and often promote the business on your behalf. So sometimes people try to share too much information. It's everything they know about why they built their business from the ground up, and they sort of vomit it all over people when they just need to work out those little tiny bite-sized chunks that explain what they do, what problem they solve, who they help, so that people can put that through their own filter and work out whether that is them or not.
Yeah, because you find sometimes when you meet people and you say, oh, like, what is it that you do? Let's say, for example, oh, I do driveways. I do driveways, and then that's it at the end of the conversation. There's not much you can kind of go from that. Whereas if they said something like, I transform people's homes and give them more accessibility, you'd be like, oh, like, how do you do that? It opens the conversation more, where sometimes it's like a very shut conversation. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and conversational confidence is an art in itself, and that kind of that back forth, the easiness with which you can end your sentences in a way that the next person can then ask you a question about it, that makes the experience of talking to you easy. So I think everything that I coach is about serving your audience so that they find it really enjoyable and easy to talk to you, which will mean in the process of that conversation you get a lot more info across and you become more memorable. So I think a lot of people, it's just starting with the absolute basics. How do you explain what you do through the eyes of someone else? Makes sense to you, especially if it's technical.
Yeah.
Like when I had a first conversation with you, I said to Fuzz, commercial content creation, what do you mean? And it was so obvious to you because it's your bread and butter.
Well, I kind of made it up, to be honest with you. I don't think
Did
that's
you?
a thing. I've never heard of commercial content creation. I was just like, it's content creation for commercial. Done.
Yeah.
It's true though, isn't
But
it?
it's the same, but even like with our branding, we thought we were being quite clear with like a business development platform, but actually some people don't even know what that term means.
No.
I just thought people see business development managers and kind of associate about that. But someone said to me, okay, well, what does that actually entail? Like, what does that actually mean? So it even like trips us up of that.
Yeah.
We need to be clearer, and that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, that's next year's goal.
You really strip it down.
And I think it's the words that you use. To you, it's obvious because you've often gone through a thought process where you've spent a long time getting to that strap line. And when I looked at the rookie CEO, when I looked at the blurb, I nearly didn't come because it said for young professionals, and I thought, oh no, sounds brilliant, but I'm not young.
Yeah,
you are.
No, at heart, but I'm not young. And then I thought, am I a rookie? Am I not? But then I saw the photos and I spotted some people that looked, they were like the same vintage as me. And I thought, let's talk to them. And then it became clear that actually, so
young
much
wasn't meant to be in it, really.
No, and it hasn't.
The psychology
been
behind
since.
calling it the rookie CEO, I think, is so genius because it's attracting the right audience. It's not attracting people who have an ego or who aren't able to be vulnerable in a safe space. It's attracting the people that I go, actually, I want to learn more.
Yeah.
So in this case, I am a rookie.
And that's irrelevant of age, irrelevant of experience,
Yeah.
length of service in the business you've been building. And I think that's what makes it so attractive. You don't have to fit a tiny little niche.
Yeah. Well, that's why it developed into, because when I originally had the idea, it was going to be called the Young CEO, and it was actually a client who does HR, and she swayed me off of it because she said, oh, I think you should be careful there because you don't want to kind of discriminate against people. And she thought, like, nothing will come of it, but just as like an FYI. And it wasn't that I didn't change it for that reason. I ended up changing it because I was like, well, actually, do I want to kind of shut it off that much? And then also I think you put in a time limit on it because obviously I'm not going to be young forever either. So
it was more of a young as a business, right?
Yeah.
The idea was like new businesses, right? Like young businesses, not young people.
Young in experience.
Yeah, I think I quickly realised that actually a lot of people are starting businesses later as well.
I just met someone.
But still feel like rookies. You know, I've been running Conversations Unlimited. I got my first client courtesy of my hairdresser, who actually, that was the first paid client I'd got in 2019, although I'd been doing stuff for a long time before that, but never really understood that it would be valued.
Yeah.
So always did it for free.
Have we got another special guest?
We're live on YouTube.
We are live on YouTube. You're more than welcome to pop in and say hello.
Who are we live with?
The nation.
It's the nation. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
This is Dan. He'll probably be in a future episode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Level Up Leeds. Maybe next month. He is moving downstairs.
I'm in the process of moving. I've come up to say hello. You look brown and well.
Thank you very much. How long are you here for?
He's having trouble with desk, so probably a couple of hours.
Okay, I'll
catch you in a bit.
The reason why he's out of breath is because we're at the top of a building.
It's a lot of stairs.
And he's not used to it yet, but he will be used to it soon.
Yeah. I fly up the stairs.
Yeah. I
Bambi.
just took a week off.
Like Bambi.
Like Bambi, yeah.
Pottery.
Fall down like Bambi, Jesus.
Yeah.
So what would you say, I would, like, as a percentage in regarding communication,
Maths. Okay, go.
conversation, how much of it is psychology?
Well, it depends. If you're asking me, do I think that you can influence your communication with the way that you feel in your mindset towards that communication? 100%. Do I think that you can get great outcomes by manipulating
that's kind of the
people
question.
with your mind? Then unless you're some sort of Vulcan, I don't know that you can you'd be as successful with that. But I think the mindset, if you approach your communication with, I often talk about purity of agenda. If you are genuinely attending a networking event to connect and learn, I don't think that can not come across in your communication with people, in your conversations. If you turn up thinking, I need a new client from the people in this room, I think that also comes across. People can smell it. And that, because 63% of everything that we communicate is non-verbal, and so that is far more powerful than the words you say. And again, to your point earlier, Heather, I think when people always worry about what should I say, what are the right words, what mustn't I say, but the words we say are so little of our overall impression in communication. It's how we make people feel that's memorable. And if you feel approachable, or someone felt like it was a nice interaction they just had, they're going to come back for another one, and you'll learn a little bit more about them, and that relationship builds up until they know you, trust you, and like you enough that if they are in your dynamic, your customer niche, they'll end up buying from you or suggesting someone else, referring you to someone else.
Yeah.
Who might.
I think that just proves that authenticity is, I think I say it properly, do they? Authenticity. It just goes a long way in marketing and marketing yourself and personal branding, because, like as you just said, it's the way that you come across without even talking. But I think on that note, habits really do help. Like with you being my coach, what you tell me, obviously I don't do naturally. So I have to form habits around my authenticity to become a better version of myself, which isn't authentic at first, but slowly becomes authentic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone deep, haven't we? We're only 15 minutes in.
Straight in with the depth of authenticity. I think sometimes being authentic can trip people up because they try to be authentic, and you must come across this in branding and marketing. If someone's trying to be really authentic, the chances are they're not really being authentic because they're trying to be something that they aren't. You just rock up and be courageous enough to be seen, which isn't polished, which isn't that you've got the answer to everything, that isn't that you look comfortable or feel comfortable. And I know I've heard you talk about, when you feel discomfort and networking, hang out by the food table.
Yes.
But that is authentic behaviour because it doesn't say I'm pretending to be all things to all people. I'm real. And I think if you try to be authentic, it's odd. And then it can be a bit contrived. But I think if you genuinely, humans want to connect. Everything that I coach is on the basis that people are happiest when they feel connected to other people. And therefore, in changing small things about how you interact with people, it does become a new habit quite quickly. I just did the 12 days of Commsmas on my LinkedIn, which felt very uncomfortable. It's a long time since I've gone live to camera on social media. It's normally in a closed Facebook community. And I thought, no, just be bold. Do the thing and don't filter or whatever. Just go. And the number of people that have reached out and said, I just used that question, or actually I took that on board and I just did that for the first time and it really helped. And I think, communication techniques, they're so simple.
Well,
slowing down your voice.
I took a lot away from when I listened to your talk about handling difficult conversations, because I think the quick thing is to take it personally or to try and shut it down, but actually no, giving people that time to speak and continue the conversation. I took a lot away from that.
Because that's why people, and some of the sessions I do with corporate teams and customer facing teams, they often feel like they are under attack from, I do some work with some NHS teams, doctor surgeries, front of house, and you can imagine the grief that they get from patients who want appointments that they can't have, want results that aren't in yet, and just are unhappy and stressed. And some of the situations they often talked about was they don't listen. And the biggest, when you analyze what they were doing, they were cutting the person off. So of course they didn't feel like the receptionist didn't feel like they were being listened to, because when they were interrupted, that person still got their inherent human need to be heard and understood. So of course, what do? They start from the beginning and they go again, and this time they're more irate because they got interrupted, and then the receptionist will think, no, stop, you're wrong, and they'll interrupt, and this becomes fueled by emotion. So when you just allow someone the time and hold the space for them to go until they stop, they will often talk themselves down. I don't know in any instances that you're referring to, but they're kind of calm by the end.
Yeah.
Because they did feel heard and understood. And we often think people want us to agree with them, or they want us to find a solution.
Yeah, I remember when I was listening to it and I was thinking back to past work scenarios and thinking, God, if I'd have known that then, I probably would have handled them completely differently. Especially when I used to work in the salon, and you'd get a very difficult client. I remember once it got really heated, and one of the girls just handled it so badly, and it just went boom. And I was just sat there like. Because we're people that were public facing and we were talking to people all day, every day, but actually hairdressers don't ever get trained in how to talk with people and communicate properly. So when you are having a challenging situation, you're creative, so you take it personally because you've just put all your love in for the last 4 hours of their hair, and then 2, you feel like, oh, I'm quite protective over this now because you're annoyed and I'm defensive now. So yeah, it's interesting when you think about all the industries it affects. If anything, those are kind of the jobs where you think employers probably should be investing a bit more in communication.
Yeah. And they think customer service training is often about, how to be polite and welcoming. And we train people to be good when it's good and to be good when it's easy. But people need the confidence and to know what to do when those conversations become more difficult.
Yeah.
And I've learned over time that lots of people, they would love to be more courageous in starting conversations, or they would like to raise an issue themselves with people, but because they don't know how to get out of the conversation or how to end it comfortably, they won't begin it. And so sometimes a lot of social confidence comes with knowing how to let a topic breathe, and when you're kind of done or you want it or need it to end, how to get out of it. And if they know that, they'll often start it. So, and it's even as simple as how to leave, those conversations at networking where they do that. So you do driveways, and there's nothing, and you kind of think, I need and want to leave, but I don't know how to do so leave with my dignity and protecting them. So there's just.
I did something really rude today, but it wasn't as rude.
Do you feel you need to share this?
Yes.
Okay,
so I apologise. I apologise if
this was you.
If this was you, I apologise. But basically, we were just hanging around the tea and coffee area, and I've just got back from holiday. I'm really not in the mood, but I wanted to catch up with you. I wanted to catch up with a few friends. And somebody came up to me and just said, "Hi, how's things?" And I just asked them, "Are you a tea or coffee drinker?" And he goes, "I'm a tea drinker." So I don't really talk to tea drinkers. I just walked away.
That's the first interaction I had with you.
Yeah, but they could tell I was joking, but actually I wasn't joking. I just wanted to get out of the conversation because I'm just too tired to talk to strangers.
But this is when you shouldn't go to
I know, but I just
mindset.
went because it was the last opportunity I could see a few people before Christmas. And
I don't know what to do with that, Fuzz.
I know. Anyway, people that are listening live.
Of all the things that you can do networking, that is not way to get out of a conversation.
No. This is a live Q&A, guys. So if you have any questions for Beth, especially, this is going to be maybe the first time for you to be in part of the live Q&A. You are joining us for a podcast.
Look, you made it sound like that.
Well, no, it's your last opportunity.
The last time that we ask you.
I'm just saying, we only have 12 a year of these live Q&As.
So
if you get asked back again, that's no pressure.
No, someone let you down short notice. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe
watch out for that.
But yes, if you're watching this live, please, this is your opportunity. Ask Beth anything you want. Hopefully, communication related. I'm not sure how personal you want to go.
I'm good with anything.
Okay, test her, guys. Test her. We've just had someone leave after I said that, so I'm not sure if they took offence to that.
That's fine.
But obviously, you got myself and Heather as well. If you've got any questions for us, please fire away. Even if you're not watching us live, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Or email us, info@therookieCEO.co.uk. What is your email, Beth?
Beth@conversationsunlimited.com.
.com. You went with the .com, did you?
I did go with that.
You went
make that
international.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm not playing small.
No. Your website is in English, but...
Well, yeah. Note to self. But actually, I had a really lovely conversation yesterday with a guy from Cyprus who runs a networking event for British-speaking Cypriots.
Cypriot is what we call them?
Yeah, Cypriots.
I just met somebody called... they talk in Flemish. Is this new to you as well? Please tell me it's new to you.
I've heard of it, but I don't know any phrases.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
But it turns out that it doesn't matter where you're from, what language you're speaking. This gentleman was Estonian and living in Greece and speaking English. But actually his community want to do exactly the same thing, feel more comfortable interacting with people they don't know, feeling that they've got all of those little phrases that allow them to talk about their business with confidence, and then build up to do the 10-minute slot. And it's quite interesting, actually, because once you give people little phrases, because a lot of people that I work with, they fear certain questions being asked or finding themselves in certain situations. They know at some point they're going to arise, but instead of actually deciding what they're going to say and then practicing it, they kind of just hope it's not going to be this week that they get asked that question. And so they kind of live in mild discomfort that at some point they'll have to face into it. And
what normally is that question? Is that a common
like,
thing?
what do you do? Or, you know, could you do a 3-minute, you've got a 90-second introductory moment. You know, they don't know what they're going to say. Or if somebody that they've given a quote to for work comes back and says, oh, you know, it's out of our budget, or can you do it for less?
See. Okay.
They fear certain awkward moments,
Mm.
but once they work out what the phrase is going to be, it's like all of that nervousness about, well, what would I say? It just disappears. And they're like, it's okay, because I know when that question is asked, this is what I'm going to say. And what is interesting about that is as soon as people get their stories straight on a small scale, then you find their confidence just boost and boost and boost. And even with some of the people that I'm working with at the moment through Speaker School, they've gone from, you know, I don't want to stand up and say my name and the name of my business, to, right, help me deliver a 10-minute slot. And then even today, someone said to me, oh, by the way, I put myself down for a big like industry-wide speaking gig in May.
Wow.
And the confidence, but they're going to use exactly the same framework to decide what good content is in front of an audience of 1,000 they would do for 100 to 50 to that one person. So
that one person.
Yeah, because even if you're talking to one person, I did a call yesterday with a local business, and they wanted to understand what the value would be of training their team with sort of customer service skills, but they wanted to protect the lifetime interaction of the customer. And so even having a conversation about the value, and that felt easy to do because I'd got all of those bits of content prepped. Here's, you know, the idiot version of what I do. This is who I help. This is the result that will change. And so it became a very comfortable conversation to have. So as soon as people get a few bits, and I prepped for that conversation in exactly the same way as I would prep for a speaker slot at Rookie. I've got a client who's she's speaking in front of 10,000 people in Madrid in January. We've used exactly the same framework as I coach at Speaker School, because the audience is the audience. And if you can work out all the things you know, what could be valuable to them, not what makes you shine in the brightest, what's most valuable to them, doesn't matter how big that or small that audience is. It's always the same prep.
I love that.
Does work.
So not a lot of people would think that.
Yeah.
I guess it's all about getting your strong foundation so you can grow from there, can't you?
Yeah. And if you profile your audience, so I'll always say to people, who are you going to be speaking to? What do you know about them?
Yeah.
What can you assume is true about them? And what do you know they've got in common? And from your specialist area, therefore, of all the things you could tell them,
this is it, because you would,
which bits?
if you were to do a talk and all the audience as well, Rookie audience, then you could quite easily, as I say, talk to them about what you do and introduce social media marketing and all that lot. But imagine you doing a talk in front of other people that are also social media marketers. It's almost like, oh God, like I don't want to teach them how to suck eggs because they already know what they're doing. So it's like adapting your approach and
people feel discomfort in front of a room where they don't feel they're getting engagement. And so the goal is always, how can you keep that audience engaged? And as you would have heard me say a million times, people are at the center of their own universe. You are only interesting and memorable if you help them. If nothing that you talked about was of interest or relevance to them, they don't know anyone that needs you. We think as the speaker, they're going to remember us and talk about us over dinner and tell their friends and maybe, you know, watch a video back that they took to make fun. They're not. They've moved on. Life's too short. So you are forgettable unless you can get through those audience filters. But it is worth trying to work out what would resonate with an audience.
Would you kind of recommend like drawing on personal experience or personal background to kind of build a story if you were building a talk?
It very much depends. So if you were asked to talk about how to build a personal brand, if you've got a room full of school leavers who want to be entrepreneurs, you would take some of the elements that you know in depth and you would I would imagine, profile that audience, think they've got no business experience yet, they've got a lot of enthusiasm, they've probably not got a great deal of life experience. So how could I help them start to create a personal brand? If you then you were asked to talk about building a personal brand to people who had got over 500,000 turnover in their business, the chances are they've already got some sort of brand. So of all the things, you would take the same topic, but you would put it through a different lens and deliver skills and top tips at a different level. The discomfort comes when you write one presentation thinking, that's my presentation on personal brand, and you just roll that out, regardless of who's in the audience, because they don't feel the relevance of it, and you can sense that because they're not engaged.
Yeah.
And that's horrible. But people don't take the time and make the effort to create bespoke content. So even though I talk about very similar things, I never deliver the same presentation twice. Even if it's the same slides, the messaging will be different because I'd have profiled that audience.
Yeah.
And it fascinates me why people will put themselves in discomfort when they could save themselves that effort by just putting in a little bit more time beforehand to think about who they're talking to.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Especially
when it
because
lands.
From a business aspect, if you don't know how many potential clients are in that audience or potential people that can refer you, so having that poor first impression could cost your business. So it is a lot of pressure.
And I think therefore the only way to make that pressure feel worth experiencing and manageable is if you genuinely are up there trying to do your best.
Yeah.
If you're up there trying to engineer someone to get you a referral to someone else, the whole thing becomes unenjoyable. But you both heard me talk about, aim for your 5%. In any given audience. You're never going to be the right fit or have the right offer for the majority of the people in the room. But there's probably at least 5% of the audience that are looking for you. Your job is to not worry about what the 95% think about. Speak to the 5%. Offer whatever you've decided is the right content with your whole heart, knowing that 5% of that room will see you and that will lead to business in the future. The conversation I had yesterday, I've never met the lady, but we met and we saw each other. We were at the same event months and months and months ago. We didn't have a conversation there. And then she knows somebody that's working with me who'd said to her, this is what it feels like. You should speak to her. So it was a really lovely recommendation that came from just me showing up wherever I show up.
Yeah.
As me.
I think like when you say about profiling the audiences as well, like I've done quite a few presentations now, and the one that I still get people commenting to me about is the one I did at Rookie on burnout, and it was probably the quickest presentation I've ever put together. But I think I was just speaking from myself, and it was just to be honest, didn't even really use the slides that much. And I had someone come up and say to me that it was like one of the best tools they've seen. And I was thinking, really? I threw those slides together in about 10 minutes. I'm thinking all these presentations that I've put so much time.
I have sweated and toiled.
But your experience was very fresh though. After that, it was very recent that you went through that burnout.
Yeah, so I think you're right. Like, that was the perfect audience for that conversation because it obviously resonated with so many people in there. And I think when you get that sweet spot of perfect timing with perfect content, you can really see like the impacts of it. Whereas if I'd have just gone and kind of done like, I don't know, just a general presentation about my business, I probably wouldn't have got the same response because people were probably like, oh, why do I care?
And I think that Rookie audience so well because they are your baby for the last year. That congratulations on birthing us all. But you know them so well, you probably didn't even have to make the effort to profile them on paper. You could picture them in your mind, and therefore you knew that there was a good chance that decent proportion of the room would have felt like that or about to feel like that and would value someone being open and honest. If you were asked to talk about burnout to a group of high performing business owners that maybe hadn't had burnout yet, then your topic might be how to avoid it. And in that content you would share your experience, but it would be in the context of things that they could do to manage all the things that you do for businesses to avoid them being burnt out. Same topic, different lens. And it would resonate just as well because you're talking to them where they are, not where you are.
Yeah.
And I think it's that effort to make it feel relevant that wins.
Yeah, definitely.
Winner.
I've got a couple of wildcard questions for you.
Oh, good.
So I apologise for putting it on the spot. So there's a lot of networking groups starting. There's even another one that was announced today, the networking group that we just came from. I want to aim this at them, the people that are trying to start these networking groups. What would you sort of implement in these groups yourself to ensure the people that are speaking at these groups, because that's what a lot of these networking groups are doing now, they're getting like a 10-minute speaker in. What would you implement almost like as a process to ensure that these speakers are not holding the actual networking group back? Does that make sense? Is that a question?
It's a question.
Okay.
That was me thinking.
That was okay. Sorry.
That was me thinking.
I wasn't sure if you just
there was a moment
translate.
Of pause. No. So everybody's got their own perspective. What I love about Rookie, I'm really protective of my time and my energy, and I'm not good at just showing up so that I can put. If only I was good with my social media, and just turning up so I could put a picture to say I've been here. I'm not sure how that would serve me, but I'm really careful with my time. And what I love about Rookie, and you know this from our first conversation, is that what you've created is a place where people can go, but you encourage your speakers to add value to that community. It's not, here is your 10 minutes to tell us about everything that you do and the prices that you've got and give us a link to a special offer.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think networking, the whole point is that you get stronger because of the networks that you are part of.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is continual learning and evolution. And and even listening to Claire Hill this morning at the Dockyard networking group, her presentation about what does success look and feel like last year versus this year, those questions about what do you want 26 to look and feel like, that's valuable content because people can go away. If it was a case of here's what Claire offers in her business for 2026, sign up with this QR code and have a discount, that's a very different experience.
100%.
So I think people setting up networking groups, the smartest thing to do is to say, who do you want to hang out with? Who you must have had a goal in mind because you couldn't get your fix from networking, from your own experience. So you created something. What did you want to create?
I think my thing is I learn better about people's businesses talking to them one-on-one. So when I was watching these feature presentations, there was some I watched that I really did share like a bit of an insight on them, but I probably would have got that from a one-to-one anyway.
Yeah.
What I didn't get from, and what I kind of, networking group I obviously won't name, when people stood up and did their 60 seconds, it was a sales pitch. And actually the people I took more attention to were the people that actually stood up and gave me a fact about what's going on in their industry. A good example, there was a financial advisor in this one particular one, and every week he would stand up, but instead of just sharing, I've done this in business and I can help you do this and this, he'd stand up and share what's going on in the market or a story from a client that week and link it back to him that way. And I was like, do you know what? Because like he's telling me something and now I'm interested.
Yeah.
I did a video on this on Rookie. It's that perceived value. When I feel like I'm getting value from what someone's saying rather than just the promotion, I'm more interested. And I was thinking, I was going to these networking groups and these feature presentations, a lot of the time was just a 10-minute sales pitch. And I thought, oh Christ, like I'm not interested.
You're not paying to see a sales pitch.
You're not offering me anything of value to be interested in what you've got to say.
Because you're at the centre of your universe.
Yeah.
And those people are valuable if there's something relevant or interesting that they can share from their world that helps you.
Yeah, and like that probably sounds a bit harsh, but it's true. And that's if we're going to networking, if you're not offering something to the people listening, why should they care or give you their attention? So that's why with Rookie, I wanted it to be more of a workshop feel rather than a feature presentation. We've had quite a lot of people kind of volunteered themselves, which has been amazing. But it's a very like, I'm very strict with the process of like, okay, like, do I think this person could offer a workshop style? And if not, okay, not right now, but we'll slot it in later down the line. And yeah, that does seem to be working well. And if I think it's going to be a bit of a drier topic, we try and sandwich it in with something a little bit more upbeat and like, because people's attention span is so short.
Yeah,
you've got to keep that attention somehow. And it's not, I've probably turned away businesses that probably could have bring a lot of traction to Rookie, but I'm like, that's not actually going to offer any value. That's just me doing that to to kind of profit from it. Well, not that we profit from the venue, but or anything like that. But like, it would be my personal gain for the reach rather than actually standing by that this is a good speaker.
That's tricky because you are prepared to sacrifice. You know, that's tricky for many people to emulate, and I think that's why Rookie's successful, because you're so clear that actually Rookie's not about you becoming famous for creating a networking group. You want to provide community knowledge and impact, and you've always been. And the fact that I can even remember that from the first slide shows me how clear your messaging is. And therefore, what I've watched is you then analyze your audience. You've given them value, and in return for that, you're getting a better feedback onto what their worlds look like, which is where the Rookie platform, I imagine, came from, because people were wanting access to all of the things that they couldn't afford to outsource: marketing, SEO, and all the things that you offer on the platform. So you've provided it for them, and that's what I think where the networking groups of the future will thrive, is when there is you're part of our community, we create this experience for you, come and contribute within it, share what you can to make everybody slightly better in their worlds from each of our own area of genius. And when we can see a gap, we'll create something that you could be part of.
I think definitely the way it's going to go is networking groups will be a byproduct of a community and like of a need, I say. Because we definitely, because a lot of the reason I first had the idea of the platform and why I went to Sam and was like, I think would have a good traction here, is because I had a few people come up to me, they didn't know my prices, didn't know anything. They were like, like I'd really like you to do my social media, but I'm not gonna be able to afford you. And I'm like, they've already got that thought in their head that they're not at that stage yet. So being able to offer something that they could train themselves up to be more confident that they are going to be able to afford someone outsourcing it eventually. It's just getting that self-belief.
It's just time, isn't it? It really is. Like,
and
you can learn anything.
It's when lots of businesses do the whole, when am I ready to invest in communication skills enhancement? When am I ready to invest in outsourcing my social media or my VA work? And people don't quite know, and they hold back from those moments. And it's the courage to think, it's the right thing to do, jump, and then the business will grow. You're artificially holding it back, or wait until X, Y, and Z. And it was really interesting, some of the topics that I know are coming up with Rookie about when is sole trader, when is it right to go limited, and when isn't it? And that's great information for people. When does a website need to be a glorified landing page, and when should it be something more? And all of those moments when people can measure their own business success, but they want to feel part of something. People want to hang out. They want to be, they don't want to miss that meeting. I only have to look at the social media after the Rookie, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can make it this month. Like, it looks great."
I think
we've done something special.
We do have we are very lucky, and we benefit from the fact that we can be picky. We can make it our own because we're not trying to profit out of it. There's no pressure for us.
It's not profit,
like if no one turned up, like it's just our time.
Whereas if you were thinking, my mortgage requires 17 paid members that have got to have their ticket 2 weeks before the event, I don't think you could hide the pressure in the way in which you PR the tickets.
For sure. And like, we don't directly contact anyone. That's why it's pay as you go, because that model means that everyone that's come has actively chosen to go to that specific event.
And what's funny, it's getting better now, but probably most of this year, over half of my people book the ticket on the day. And if this was if we were financially gaining from this, we would be like, please book it in advance, blah, blah, blah. But we're like, look, if you want to come. If you don't want to come, it's not a massive issue. But I think getting rid of that pressure definitely helps promote it in itself. Just going on a random sort of like perception about you saying about investing. I'm not sure what you meant financially or time-wise, but I do believe truly that if you're investing in educational stuff or just learning in general, it is just time. Like everything is so accessible online now. People feel like they have to invest money in learning new skills, and I really don't think that. Obviously, that's coming from someone who hasn't got any sort of grades at all, and no, like you've just finished your marketing degree, but obviously it's a bit of a touchy subject. But everything that you learn
that wasn't free,
everything that you learn in that, do you think somehow you could have learned through the free world of the internet?
I think, to be honest, a degree in the sense of what I was doing, it helps you pull that. It's not that you couldn't find it elsewhere. It's that it's making you accountable to bring this back to a strategy.
I see.
Because when you run marketing campaigns without a kind of an educational degree or anything, and a lot of people might just do this naturally. You do this because it feels right, but you can't justify it to someone. So if you're going to a bigger board meeting and they're like, well, why are you doing this? You can go, oh, because it's going to do this and this. And they want you to back it up with all this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
The degree trains you to be accountable when actually this is underpinned by this, this and this. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't find that information elsewhere, but you wouldn't be forced to be accountable unless you was in an educational course setting. And it's really good training for if you are looking to kind of work with bigger companies, because I now am programmed to be like, this is the theory behind this and this is why we're doing it. It's proven to work.
Even though it has to adapt constantly.
Yeah, so it makes, but actually the fundamentals of it all say the same. It all comes back to psychology of how people's brains work.
Yeah.
And I can now confidently demonstrate that. And that's what it gives me. But I probably could, in the terms of resources and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, you can learn online.
I think it also depends on how you learn
and who your 5% is. Because if you want those clients, you need to explain what you bring through the lens that they feel is important. So you've got to tick those boxes. Yeah. If actually that wasn't your 5% and your target audience was doing the social media for people who just want somebody that is friendly and capable and isn't going to give them a hard time about not having stuff ready on time, you maybe wouldn't need to talk about the logic behind the strategies. So it depends who you are. And sometimes people don't really know who they are speaking to, who they're solving the problem for, and therefore they go wider or more vanilla than they need to. But I think it's smart if that is the conversation you want to have.
It's just knowing your pathway, and this is why I think I'm not someone to write down plans or whatever, but in my head I always have an idea of in the next few years what I want to be doing. And the pathway for me is not to build an agency, but to have some sort of team that works with me, and that will then open up that pathway to work with these bigger companies, but then still keep that small business energy. But yeah, it's different for everyone. That was the pathway I took, but it's not the right pathway for someone else.
Well, no, that's authenticity, isn't it?
Yours totally different because you've self-taught everything.
Yeah, exactly that.
So how do you communicate your 5% that are the people, the significant companies that you have done great work with? How do they relate to you? Do they feel your passion? Do they see previous work? Do you showcase things? I
think it was all just a mixture. Obviously, at first, when you're starting a business, it's really hard to have a showcase work, especially if you're in the creative industry, because a lot of it is just free work you kind of have to do initially. But I think it's just a mixture. I think people are attracted to different things. Like, for instance, if we were looking at getting a videographer in, which we've got now, so I would need a portfolio as an employer. But if I was attracted to someone networking because of their vibe, because of the way that their beliefs and stuff, I would probably be just trustworthy. They'd be trustworthy enough to just go, right, can you film this for me? Unless they obviously start charging ridiculous prices, then I'd be like, look, I need to see some sort of portfolio.
Show me the value, the logic behind that.
But I think when you're networking, I would say most sales are made through vibe. Would you agree with that?
100%. I
Yeah.
had a client, a payment landed in my bank in November from a name of a lady that I did not recognise at all. And I just thought, well, that's very kind. And she'd gone onto my website and she had seen the work with me, the payment link, and just paid. And then she'd emailed me to say, hey, I saw you speak at the Rookie back in the spring. We had
wow, is it from Ricky?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I saw you speak at Rookie
Commission?
in April, whenever it was. We had a quick chat afterwards and you were so approachable. I really need to upskill my communication because I can't get over a few hurdles at work, and I know you'd be the right person to help me. Now, she's not asked for an ology. She's not asked for a certificate. Thank God, because I don't have any professional qualifications in communication. But it was based on vibe. But my presentation at Rookie was pitched at anybody who was at that base level wanting those tips. So she'd be in my 5%, someone else wasn't. And I think you've just got to let go. I always coach my clients, marry the process, divorce the result. Marry the process and celebrate the process of putting it out there, offering it, making that conversation happen, and let go of the result, because it doesn't always come as it's straight after the event. It takes people time to decide how they feel about you. So I don't think you ever know how the impact of your communication is going to come across, because people don't always say. But if you just do it with your whole heart and you try and serve them as best you can, I don't think you can go far wrong.
No, we have a joint client that we'd met probably like last year through networking, and just like kept in touch whenever we see them. It was very friendly, and when it come to the point where they were ready, the cost didn't even come into it. It was, you're who I'm working with. Obviously, if we'd have been like, oh, we're charging blah, 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 they'd be like, oh, okay. But like our prices are fair, so that they knew like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. I did a post the other day as well, like saying that I'm not necessarily the cheapest social media manager in the area, but it doesn't come down to that. Like, there's different tiers, and you kind of the different price points and different people for everything that you possibly could want.
100%,
And your 5% won't be served by the next person, and their ideal client isn't your ideal client. There's room. And what I love about the networking groups that are really effective is they recognise that there's room for more than one type of service provider in the same room, and that they're still serving their community well, because you won't all be. I used to work at John Lewis for 15 years, and I would, without a shadow of a doubt, buy any product that John Lewis sold from John Lewis instead of trying to find it cheaper somewhere else.
You had a discount.
I
and
did,
shares.
and no shares.
Did you have any shares?
Profit
I thought
share came as cash,
oh, okay.
which was lovely. But the discount, even with the discount, you weren't, because their product range wasn't everything from cheapest to most expensive. So you were getting great value with discount. But why I actually bought those things was because what I was paying for in my mind was the no quibble customer service, the aftercare, the no issue. If it goes wrong or it's damaged, no one's going to fight me. And that was worth its weight in gold. So you don't know what people are prepared to pay for.
It's funny you say that, because I remember when I worked for a brand in store, I had the opposite. I was like a concession. I hated the umbrella I was under. So I would not buy anything there, because I knew it was no refunds. It was a credit note. I knew they were going to make my life hell if this breaks. So I would go down to John Lewis, or I would go down to, I'm not going to say the other one, because I will tell you who it was I was working for.
Other brands are available.
But this just goes back to you. Like, you say you've got no qualifications in coaching, but you've been surrounded by amazing people and an amazing company who has great principles. And I've had same similar experience with Amazon, in the fact that like we understand, like, you work from the customer, work backwards, and that's how you attract your ideal client, I would say. And if you don't believe in that, then you're attracting clients that you want to work with.
This is why I actually did my degree slightly later, I got industry experience first in the field that I wanted to study in, then did my degree while I was working in the industry. So actually the degree was easier because I was doing it day to
It's like an
day.
apprenticeship.
And I
Not
had
imagining what you do.
and I had all the industry experience. And then when I've graduated, I'm already got the experience and I've got the degree now.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever
A great view of it,
if anyone
actually.
would ever say to me about going to uni, I would say, yeah, do it, but work in the industry for a few years
Yeah,
first.
genius.
A great twist on that, I'd say. I'm not sure if we're all on the same boat here, but
We're about to find
learning
out.
how to drive.
Mm.
So my mentor, tutor, don't know, woman
This
who taught
could
me.
potentially go anywhere.
I was
Learning
always
instructor.
learning instructor. Sorry,
Learning
it's been a while. Yeah, we always drove her Mini Cooper every single time for a lesson, and then even for the test, we drove the Mini Cooper. And then the second time, lucky, I passed. And then I was given a car. Well, I got a car, and I didn't know where to start. I was like, this is all different. This is all different.
Yeah.
Because you've got no experience, you've just got the degree as such.
Yeah.
Whereas what you did, I think, definitely works better in hand in hand.
And I work with a lot of clients who, in addition to businesses and corporates and leaders, I have several clients that are young adults, and they are trying to make that transition from education to employment. And they are fighting to get apprenticeships against people who have done a decade in that role and now want the professional qualification that shows that they're great at it. And so there used to be a time when they would leave school and they would just be competing against their mates.
Yeah.
But now you've got people from diverse backgrounds who are bringing all of that life experience into interview scenarios, application forms. And the biggest opportunity with young adults, or sometimes adults who haven't had an interview for years and years and years, is to get them back into the habit of telling stories about themselves. Because they can't, no one teaches you at school to talk about that time you climbed that mountain on that family holiday is a great example of resilience and overcoming a hurdle, or that leading that tour around your primary school for the new parents is a great example of communication skills.
Couldn't imagine
Storytelling
being
is
Jesus. Sorry.
My family take the right mickey out of me whenever we're doing anything. They're like, oh, Heather, see, this would make a great LinkedIn post, won't it? They're actually on their family ski holiday at the minute, and my mum fell into this big black snow thing, and apparently she was like wedged up to snow up to here.
Poor Audrey.
And we said, well, Mum, that'll make, because my mum's really got into LinkedIn recently. We were like, oh, that's going to make a great LinkedIn post. And I said, yeah, it'll be perfect. What getting buried in the snow taught me about visibility.
yeah. But just because it's been an hour now.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Are we
it's
overrunning?
It's gone very quick. I've had a lot of fun, and we've had no questions, guys. So you've let us down there. But if you are watching this one back, just put a comment, and I'm sure
I'll answer it.
Anyway, last question on that wildcard situation. So we'll just flip it now.
Okay.
So we've spoken to the person who's organising the event, and they're looking for speakers.
Yes.
Can you give advice to any businesses who they're just waiting for, not just the opportunity, but just waiting for that call out inside to go, right, I'm now ready to be a speaker?
Okay. So what I would say to that type of business is you will never be ready to be that kind of speaker until you've done that kind of speech. So there's a big difference between feeling ready and being ready. You only know that you're ready when you've done it, and it will take a leap of faith to go.
Okay.
So it's never like when your business is X big or you've had this many clients, now you've got the right to speak. The biggest thing that will move someone from thinking, I'd love to, but I'm not going to, is simply because they do not know what content will be well received.
Yeah.
What on earth would people be interested to hear from me? Who am I to tell people about that? No one would want to listen to me.
Yeah.
Yes, there is always something within your area of expertise that would be gold dust to an audience. The trick is to work out who that audience is, profile them, and then say, of all the things that you know that could help them in where you have made assumptions or know where they are, what do you want them to know? What will they think when they hear you say it? So sometimes we'll say to someone, you need to post 17 times a day. And in someone's head, they go, well, I can't do that. I haven't got time. Well, if you can imagine being in the seat of the audience and you know that they're thinking, well, there's no way I've got time to do that. you need to answer that query or that hurdle or that objection in your content. And some people would say that would take ages, but if you sit down on a Sunday night and schedule them or whatever, it's very bad advice. It's not my area of expertise.
Then post 17 times.
No.
We actually got a question.
No.
We got a question. Right. What
Hang on,
ever
I haven't
makes
finished.
No, I did say that. I said to them all at the beginning. They can
I know,
interrupt
but I
us.
haven't finished my answer.
No,
yet.
they can interrupt us.
Oh God.
Look, we've
Right,
got time.
fine, carry on.
So, carry on.
So what do you want them to know? What do you think they will object to or question in their mind? And then how do you want them to feel?
Yeah.
If you simply want them to feel like you're approachable to talk more, or you are credible in your area of expertise and that you are desperate to help, then that's enough, because that will indicate the tone. So no one's ever ready till they're done, but there will be content that will be valuable. It just often isn't what the business knows.
I love all that. Obviously, that's like the hundredth time I've heard you say that.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Stop
So
using it.
this is aimed at you. This is a personal question.
Okay,
I think
great.
we're going to end it on this question because we've all
Is
got
it real? Or
lives
you
to
just
live.
made it up?
No. It's by, I'm not sure who this is because their name. I paint, matey. I'm assuming it's
I
a
paint.
decorator.
Okay.
Do you know any decorators? Because obviously they're interested in your life. Because they've asked you whatever makes Beth speechless or lost for words. Which I'm assuming is the same sort of thing.
So I tell you for why. Every now and again, I do get speechless, and I was speechless very recently. And Lucy Jessie is responsible for me being speechless because I got an email that said I had been nominated for a Kent Women in Business award for, I can't remember the title, influential person or inspirational person, and it caught me so off guard because I am wired to serve.
Yeah.
So everything in my business is about that would help that person, or I wonder if I shared that would serve, that would help. This is a great way to encourage someone to do that. It's never about me. And so when I see someone, to me, time is the most precious gift.
Yeah.
So if somebody is bothered enough to handwrite me a card, I'm like, oh my God, because time is so precious. Note to self. If someone, so Lucy actually took time to write a nomination. Now, I know she's got a busy life.
Yeah.
But I meant enough to her in that moment that she wanted to do that.
It's amazing.
And I messaged her and I said, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to nominate and accept the nomination and then write your own. So I did say to her, I just don't feel comfortable to do it. I'd rather use my time in helping someone else write their nomination help someone else. But it moved when people are really genuinely kind to me.
Yeah.
It does make me speechless.
That's good.
That's a lovely way to end that.
It is, yeah. You weren't very speechless when we gave you that chocolate bar. Lucky though. Just saying.
That led to a new client.
Did it?
Yeah.
We need to start getting commissioned from these things.
No, people
We
need
need
to
to get
start
some
turning
agreements
up
in
and
place.
offering a bit of themselves.
Anyway, we hope that answered your question,
Yeah.
and we're going to end it there. But if you're watching this and not live, again, please comment below or contact us. Make sure you follow Beth Turner on LinkedIn. Anywhere else? No, just LinkedIn?
Facebook or website.
Yeah, she's at that age now. Facebook's quite a hit, isn't it? Yeah. I'm joking.
Did you see that?
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching, and
Thank you
we'll
for
see you next month at some point in January. Bye. How do I turn this off? There we go, end stream.
End. Press end.